The chill of December 20, 1968, settles over Benicia, California, as David Faraday, 17, and Betty Lou Jensen, 16, embark on their first date, two figures etched against a darkening sky. They drive David's mother's Rambler to a secluded lover's lane on Lake Herman Road, a gravel turnout where local couples often sought privacy. The night is clear, stars pinpricking the desolate landscape, a perfect canopy for young love, undisturbed, or so they believe. At approximately 10:15 p.m., another vehicle pulls up behind them, its headlights piercing the inky darkness. A man emerges, armed with a .22 caliber semi-automatic handgun, a dark silhouette against the car's glow. He orders the couple out of the car, his voice a flat command. David Faraday is shot once in the head, his body crumpling almost instantly as he attempts to comply. Betty Lou Jensen, a desperate blur in the dark, runs for her life, her footsteps scattering gravel. She is shot 5 times in the back, falling lifelessly just 28 feet from the car, a silent heap on the cold ground. The assailant disappears into the night, leaving behind 2 young bodies and a profound sense of unease that settles like fog. The discovery is made shortly after 11:00 p.m. by Stella Borgs, who is driving past with her children and notices the bodies, 2 dark shapes in the dim light. She hurries to the nearby home of Robert and Sharon Braswell, who then notify the Solano County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Sheriff Daniel Pitta is among the first responders, his flashlight beam cutting through the gruesome scene. The investigation begins immediately, but the remote location and the killer's swift, brutal efficiency offer few immediate clues, like scattered puzzle pieces in the dark. The .22 caliber casings recovered at the scene are of particular interest, small brass cylinders gleaming on the ground, but without a suspect, they remain silent witnesses. The murders shock the quiet communities of Vallejo and Benicia, a stark intrusion of violence into their peaceful lives, like a rock thrown into still water. The motive is unclear, robbery is not apparent, and there is no sign of sexual assault. This double homicide marks the chilling beginning of a new, terrifying chapter in California's criminal history, though its full scope is yet to be understood. 6 months later, on July 4, 1969, the 4th of July celebrations are underway in Vallejo, fireworks blooming in the night sky. Darlene Ferrin, 22, and Michael Majow, 19, are parked at the Blue Rock Springs Park Golf Course parking lot, another known lover's lane, just 3 miles from the Lake Herman Road murders. It is 12:40 a.m. On July 5th, when a car, described as a brown or light-colored vehicle, pulls up behind Darlene's Corvair, its engine purring softly. The car then drives off, only to return approximately 10 minutes later, pulling alongside them, a shadow mirroring their own. The driver, a man, exits his vehicle, approaches the passenger side of the Corvair, and shines a flashlight into the car, momentarily blinding Darlene and Michael in its harsh beam. Without a word, he opens fire with a 9mm Luger pistol, the gunshots ripping through the quiet night. Michael Majow is shot in the face, neck, and chest, but incredibly, he survives, his body a roadmap of wounds. Darlene Ferrin is shot multiple times and succumbs to her injuries shortly after arriving at Kaiser Foundation Hospital in Vallejo, her life fading on the operating table. The attacker drives away, leaving Michael Majow to stumble out of the car, screaming for help, his voice tearing the silence. He is discovered by teenagers who quickly alert authorities. Vallejo Police Department officers respond to the scene, their patrol car lights flashing. The similarities to the Lake Herman Road murders are striking. A young couple, a secluded location, a sudden, unprovoked attack, a chilling echo. This time, however, there is a survivor, Michael Majow, who provides a description of the assailant. A white male, 26-30 years old, 200 pounds, 58 tall, with a stocky build and light brown hair, a rough sketch emerging from his memory. This description, while vague, is the first eyewitness account of the killer. The 9mm casings recovered at Blue Rock Springs are different from the .22 caliber casings found at Lake Herman Road, suggesting a different weapon, but the modus operandi is disturbingly consistent, a signature of violence. At 12:45 a.m., just 10 minutes after the Blue Rock Springs attack, a phone call is placed to the Vallejo Police Department, the ringing cutting through the night. The caller, a male, speaks in a calm, deliberate voice, admitting responsibility for the shootings. He states, "I want to report a murder, no, a double murder. I am the one who did it." He then provides the location of the attack, Blue Rock Springs Park, and proceeds to claim responsibility for the Lake Herman Road murders of David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen as well, his words connecting the dots of terror. The call is traced to a payphone at a gas station located at Springs Road and Tuolumne Street in Vallejo, less than a mile from the police station, a silent sentinel in the dark. The dispatcher, Nancy Slover, listens intently, capturing the chilling confession, her pen scratching across paper. This is the first time the killer directly communicates with law enforcement, explicitly linking the two seemingly disparate attacks. His voice is described as soft, low, and devoid of emotion, a flat line of terror. The call lasts approximately 3 minutes, a chilling declaration of intent and a shocking admission of guilt. The phone is still off the hook when officers arrive, but the caller is long gone, a phantom in the night. The Vallejo Police Department now faces a killer who is not only violent but also taunting, a puppeteer pulling strings. The connection between the Lake Herman Road and Blue Rock Springs incidents is undeniable, cemented by the killer's own confession. The investigation intensifies, with local and state agencies collaborating, their resources pooling. The public is on edge, and fear begins to spread throughout the Bay Area, a chill wind blowing through homes. The police release details of the phone call and Michael Majau's description, hoping for leads, casting a wide net. The killer's brazenness, calling the police directly, marks a significant escalation, a gauntlet thrown. It suggests a desire for recognition, a need to control the narrative, like an author crafting his own dark story. The calm demeanor of the caller is particularly unsettling, indicating a cold, calculating mind, a machine of malevolence. On July 31, 1969, 3 separate letters arrive at 3 different Bay Area newspapers: the San Francisco Examiner, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, each envelope a sealed package of dread. Each letter is identical L, meticulously handwritten, its script a precise, unsettling pattern, and begins with the chilling phrase, "I am the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman and the girl on the 4th of July at Blue Rock Springs." The letters contain details of the murders that only the killer would know, confirming their authenticity beyond doubt, like a key fitting a specific lock. The sender demands that the newspapers print a cryptogram, a cipher, on their front pages, a puzzle for the public. If the cryptogram is not printed, the sender threatens to commit a dozen more murders over the upcoming weekend, targeting lone individuals in various locations, a chilling promise of blood. This threat, delivered with such precision and malice, sends a new wave of fear through the communities, a cold wave washing over the land. The cryptogram itself is a complex 408-symbol cipher, a grid of strange characters, letters, and astrological signs. The killer refers to it as a 408-symbol cipher and states that it contains his identity, a hidden name within the symbols. The letters are signed with a unique symbol, a circle with a cross through it, resembling a rifle scope, a chilling bull's. This symbol, later to become infamous, is the first visual representation of the killer's self-proclaimed identity, a brand of terror. The newspapers are faced with a difficult decision: succumb to the killer's demands and potentially glorify his actions, or refuse and risk further bloodshed, a moral tightrope walk. After extensive deliberation and consultation with law enforcement, they decide to publish the cryptogram, albeit with some hesitation and a plea from the police for public assistance in deciphering it, a collective gamble. The threat of more murders weighs heavily on their decision, a dark cloud hanging over their newsrooms. The publication of the cryptograms on August 1, 1969, ignites a frantic race to decode the killer's message, a mental marathon. The public, already gripped by fear and fascination, now has a direct challenge from the murderer, a gauntlet thrown. Within days, the cipher is cracked. Not by law enforcement, but by a high school teacher, Donald Hardin, and his wife, Betty Hardin, from Salinas, California, two minds unraveling the killer's knot. They work tirelessly through the weekend, applying logical deduction and pattern recognition to the seemingly random symbols, their pens scratching across paper. Their breakthrough comes as they realize the cipher likely uses a simple substitution method, with certain symbols representing common letters, a hidden language revealed. On August 4, 1969, the Hardins successfully decipher the 408-symbol cryptogram, its secrets laid bare. The decoded message reveals a chilling text. "I like killing people because it is so much fun. IT is more fun than getting your rocks off. With a girl, the best part of IT is that when I die, I will be reborn in PARADICE, and all the people I have killed will be MYSLAVES. I will not give you a my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of SLAVES for MY afterlife, EBEORITMETHHPITI. The last 18 letters, EBEORITMETHHPITI, remain undeciphered, leading to speculation that they might contain the killer's name or another hidden message, a final, stubborn lock. The decoded message offers no clues to the killer's identity, only a disturbing insight into his twisted motivation. A thrill in killing, a belief in an afterlife where his victims become his slaves, a monstrous philosophy. This revelation shocks the public and law enforcement alike, painting a portrait of a cold, calculating, and deeply disturbed individual, a shadow with a chilling voice. The myth of the Zodiac begins to solidify, not merely as a killer, but as a taunting, cryptic presence, a name whispered in fear. The receipt of the decoded cryptogram on August 4, 1969, marks a terrifying shift in the killer's narrative. He is no longer just a murderer. He is a showman, a puzzle master, directly engaging with the public and the authorities through cryptic messages, a dark performance. The unyielding self-proclamation of his perverse pleasure in taking lives, and the chilling promise of an afterlife filled with his victims as slaves, paints a stark, unsettling portrait of his psyche, a window into a disturbed mind. The name Zodiac, though not yet explicitly stated by the killer, begins to subtly coalesce around the astrological symbols he employs and the celestial language of the afterlife he envisions, a constellation of fear. The San Francisco Examiner, along with other Bay Area newspapers, now finds itself a reluctant conduit for this killer's macabre communications, a platform he actively seeks and manipulates, like a stage for his dark drama. As the summer of 1969 wears on, the Bay Area remains gripped by a pervasive fear, a silent dread hanging in the air like a heavy blanket. The Zodiac's threat of more murders, though temporarily averted by the publication of his cipher, still echoes in the public consciousness, a chilling whisper. Law enforcement agencies, including the Vallejo Police Department, the Solano County Sheriff's Office, and now the San Francisco Police Department, are coordinating their efforts. But the killer remains elusive, a ghost leaving only paper trails and bodies, a phantom menace. The press, while condemning the violence, finds itself in an ethical quandary, balancing public safety with the inherent risk of amplifying the killer's self-aggrandizing messages, a tightrope walk. The very act of reporting on the Zodiac's letters inadvertently grants him the attention he craves, creating a feedback loop of fear and fascination, a self-fulfilling prophecy of terror. On August 7, 1969, another letter arrives at the San Francisco Examiner, this one explicitly using the name that will forever be associated with the killer, a new brand of fear. The letter begins, "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking," the words etched in a chilling script. This is the first time the killer identifies himself with this chilling moniker, cementing his chosen identity, a self-proclaimed villain. In this letter, he expresses anger that the police have not released his code name to the public, a clear indication of his desire for control and recognition, a child demanding attention. He also provides further details about the Lake Herman Road and Blue Rock Springs murders, including specific ammunition types and the model of the gun used, information only the killer would possess, like a secret handshake. He mocks the police for their inability to catch him, stating, "I am not the American of your paper." This line, often debated, is believed to be a cryptic reference to a police sketch that had been released, implying the sketch is inaccurate, a deliberate misdirection. The August 7th letter also includes another cryptogram, this one much shorter, consisting of only 13 symbols, a miniature puzzle. The Zodiac challenges the police to solve this cipher, implying it contains his name, a hidden key. He reiterates his threat of further attacks if his demands are not met, specifically mentioning targeting children on a school bus, a chilling image. This escalation of threats, now including innocent children, sends a new wave of terror through the community, a cold shiver down every spine. The chilling casualness with which he discusses murder, coupled with his intellectual gamesmanship, paints a picture of a killer who views his actions as a perverse form of entertainment, a deadly game. The police, under immense pressure, continue their investigation, meticulously analyzing every detail of the letters, like archaeologists studying ancient texts. Handwriting analysis becomes a crucial tool as experts scrutinize the distinctive script of the Zodiac, each loop and curve a clue. The peculiar flourishes, the deliberate misspellings, and the consistent grammatical errors are all cataloged, creating a unique linguistic fingerprint of the killer, a verbal mosaic. However, without a suspect to compare it to, the handwriting alone offers limited immediate leads, a partial map. The content of the letters, particularly the specific details of the crimes, is cross-referenced with crime scene evidence, further solidifying the authenticity of the communications, interlocking pieces of a puzzle. The 13-symbol cryptogram, despite its brevity, proves far more resistant to deciphering than the previous 408-symbol cipher, a tiny but impenetrable fortress. Cryptographers, both professional and amateur, work tirelessly, but the lack of sufficient text and the potential for a more complex encryption method make it an exceptionally difficult puzzle, a Gordian knot. The Zodiac, it seems, is enjoying his intellectual superiority, relishing the challenge he has posed to the authorities and the public, a smug smile in the shadows. The unsolved cipher further enhances his mystique, transforming him into a shadowy, omniscient figure, a ghost in the machine. As August draws to a close, the absence of further attacks brings a fragile, temporary calm, a thin veneer over deep anxiety, but the underlying anxiety persists. Every shadow, every unusual car, every strange phone call becomes a potential harbinger of the Zodiac, a potential signal of doom. Parents become more protective of their children, and public spaces, once bustling with carefree activity, now carry an unspoken tension, a silent hum of fear. The Zodiac has effectively infiltrated the collective consciousness of the Bay Area, his presence felt even in his absence, a dark echo. Then, on September 27, 1969, the Zodiac strikes again, this time at Lake Berryessa in Napa County, a popular recreational area about 50 miles north of Vallejo, its tranquil waters now a stage for terror. Brian Hartnell, 20, and Cecilia Ann Shepard, 22, are picnicking on an isolated peninsula known as Lover's Lane. Two figures enjoying a peaceful Saturday afternoon. At approximately 6:30 p.m., a man approaches them, wearing a black, hooded executioner-style costume with a white cross-circle symbol sewn onto the chest, a chilling, theatrical display. He carries a gun and a large knife, glinting in the fading light. The costume is a chilling, theatrical display, a physical manifestation of the Zodiac's self-proclaimed identity, a walking symbol of fear. The man, later identified as the Zodiac, ties up Brian and Cecilia with pre-cut clothesline, their hands bound, their freedom gone. He then pulls out his knife and stabs them repeatedly, the blade flashing in the twilight. Brian Hartnell is stabbed 6 times in the back, while Cecilia Shepard is stabbed 10 times, also in the back, their bodies becoming canvases of violence. The attack is brutal, prolonged, and incredibly personal, a stark departure from the quick, distant shootings of the previous victims, a close-up horror. The Zodiac then walks back to Brian's car, a white Carmen Ghia, and uses a black felt-tip pen to draw his cross-circle symbol on the car door, a chilling signature. Below the symbol, he writes, Vallejo/122068/7469/Sept2769/6/30/ by knife, a timeline of terror etched in ink. This message explicitly links all 3 attacks, leaving no doubt as to the perpetrator, a clear declaration of ownership. After the attack, at 7:40 p.m., the Zodiac makes another phone call, this time to the Napa County Sheriff's Office, the phone ringing in the quiet station. The call is placed from a payphone at a car wash on Main Street in Napa, just a few blocks from the crime scene, a mundane location for a monstrous confession. The caller, in a calm, deliberate voice, states, "I want to report a murder, a double murder." They are 2 miles north of park headquarters. They were in a white Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. He then pauses and adds, "I'm the one who did it," his voice a flat, chilling statement. The dispatcher, David Slate, listens as the caller provides precise details of the crime, confirming his identity as the attacker, the details painting a grim picture. The phone is found hanging off the hook, still warm when officers arrive minutes later, a silent testament to the killer's recent presence. Brian Hartnell, despite his severe injuries, manages to untie himself and crawl for help, his body a testament to survival. He is discovered by a fisherman who immediately alerts authorities, his voice a shout in the stillness. Cecilia Shepard is still alive when paramedics arrive, but her injuries are critical, her breath shallow. Both are rushed to Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa, sirens wailing through the night. Cecilia Shepard succumbs to her injuries 2 days later. On September 29, 1969, her life extinguished. Brian Hartnell, miraculously, survives, becoming the second known survivor of a Zodiac attack and a crucial eyewitness, his memory a valuable weapon. His detailed account of the hooded assailant, the costume, and the chilling dialogue during the attack provides invaluable information to investigators, a window into the killer's actions. The Lake Berryessa attack marks a significant escalation in the Zodiac's brutality and theatricality. The costume, the premeditated binding of the victims, and the personal nature of the knife attack demonstrate a deeper level of planning and a more sadistic intent, a calculated performance of cruelty. The message on the car door, a timeline of his murders, is a brazen act of defiance, a direct challenge to law enforcement, a gauntlet thrown down. The phone call, placed so soon after the attack and so close to the crime scene, further emphasizes his arrogance and his desire to control the narrative, like a director orchestrating a terrifying play. The Zodiac is no longer just a killer. He is a performer, staging his crimes for maximum impact, demanding attention and leaving a trail of terror in his wake, a dark artist. The Napa County Sheriff's Office, led by Captain Don Townsend, now joins the growing list of agencies actively hunting the Zodiac, their forces combining. The crime scene at Lake Berryessa is meticulously processed, yielding crucial evidence, including the clothesline used to bind the victims and latent fingerprints on the car door, invisible impressions of the killer. Forensic experts analyze the handwriting on the car door, confirming its consistency with the previous Zodiac letters, a recurring pattern. The survivor, Brian Hartnell, provides a detailed description of the killer. A white male, approximately 58 to 60, tall, medium build, with dark brown hair visible through the hood, a clearer image emerging. This description, combined with Michael Majau's earlier account, begins to form a composite image of the elusive killer, a ghostly portrait. The media frenzy intensifies following the Lake Berryessa attack. The gruesome details of the stabbings, the chilling costume, and the Zodiac's continued taunts dominate headlines across the nation, bold print screaming fear. The public's fear deepens, and the perception of the Zodiac as an unstoppable force grows, a monster without a face. The unsolved 13-symbol cryptogram and the constant stream of letters from the killer fuel a sense of helplessness among the authorities and a growing frustration among the public, a collective sigh of despair. The Zodiac has effectively terrorized an entire region, dictating the terms of engagement through his violent acts and cryptic communications, a shadow government of fear. On October 11, 1969, a little over 2 weeks after the Lake Berryessa attack, the Zodiac strikes again, this time in the heart of San Francisco, its bustling streets now a hunting ground. Paul Stine, a 29-year-old taxi driver, is dispatched to pick up a fare at the intersection of Mason and Geary Streets in downtown San Francisco, his taxi idling under the streetlights. His destination is Washington and Maple Streets in Presidio Heights, an affluent residential neighborhood known for its quiet, tree-lined streets, a deceptive calm. At approximately 9:55 p.m., Stine's taxi pulls up to the designated drop-off point. It is here, on a tranquil residential street, that the Zodiac commits his last confirmed murder, a final, deadly act. According to later eyewitness accounts, a man is seen leaning into the front seat of Stine's taxi for several minutes after the car comes to a stop, his silhouette framed in the window. 2 teenagers who live across the street observe the scene from their second-story window, their eyes peering through the glass. They initially believe it to be a lover's quarrel or a robbery in progress, a common urban scene. The man then cleans the interior of the taxi, specifically wiping down the dashboard and door handle before walking away, a meticulous erasure of his presence. As he leaves, he is seen tearing a piece of cloth from Stine's shirt, a macabre souvenir. The teenagers, realizing something is amiss, call the police, their voices urgent. When San Francisco Police Department officers arrive on the scene at 10:00 p.m., they find Paul Stine slumped over in the driver's seat, dead from a single gunshot wound to the head, fired at close range from a 9 pistol, a bloody tableau. His wallet and car keys are missing, but the taxi meter is still running, its numbers ticking, indicating a robbery gone wrong. However, the meticulous cleaning of the car and the removal of a piece of Stine's shirt suggest a more sinister motive, a ritualistic act beyond mere theft, a deliberate message. The crime scene is quickly secured, and the investigation begins, a flurry of activity. The murder of Paul Stine marks a terrifying expansion of the Zodiac's hunting grounds, moving from secluded rural areas to the bustling urban landscape of San Francisco, a city he had previously threatened to target, its concrete canyons now echoing with fear. This is the first confirmed Zodiac victim within the city limits, and it changes the entire dynamic of the investigation, a new chapter in the terror. The initial police radio dispatch describes the suspect as a Negro male, a critical error that allows the Zodiac to walk away unnoticed, a phantom slipping through fingers. The teenagers who observed the killer from their window see him again shortly after the first police cars arrive, their eyes tracking his movement. They attempt to flag down an officer, but the officer is preoccupied with the initial, erroneous description and drives past them, a tragic misstep. This miscommunication, a tragic consequence of human error and the chaos of a rapidly unfolding crime, allows the Zodiac to slip through the dragnet, vanishing into the urban labyrinth. The San Francisco Police Department, SFPD, quickly realizes the gravity of the situation. The unique modus operandi, the single gunshot to the head, and the previous threats all point to the Zodiac, a clear pattern emerging. A search of the area is launched, involving numerous officers, their flashlights sweeping the night, but the killer has vanished into the night. The following day, October 12, 1969, a letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle. Postmarked October 11, 1969, another message from the darkness. It contains a blood-stained piece of Paul Stine's shirt, confirming the Zodiac's responsibility for the murder, a grisly token. The letter begins with the chilling words, "I am the Zodiac," and goes on to describe the murder in vivid detail, including the specific time and location, a precise and terrifying account. He boasts about the ease with which he committed the crime and mocks the police for their inability to catch him, a sneering voice from the shadows. The Zodiac also includes a threat to target a school bus, specifically mentioning that he will pick off the kiddies as they come out, a chilling image of children in danger. This threat, a direct escalation of his previous warnings, sends a wave of panic through the Bay Area, a collective gasp of fear. School districts immediately implement heightened security measures, and parents are gripped by fear, their children clutch tighter. The letter also contains another cryptogram, a 340-symbol cipher, much longer and more complex than the previous 13-symbol message, a new, intricate puzzle. The Zodiac states that this cipher contains enough information to identify him. He demands that the newspaper publish the cipher on the front page, threatening further attacks if his demands are not met, a clear ultimatum. The San Francisco Chronicle, under immense public pressure and in consultation with law enforcement, publishes the cryptogram. The FBI, already involved in the investigation, intensifies its efforts, its resources now fully engaged. Handwriting analysts meticulously compare the Stine letter to previous Zodiac communications, confirming the consistency of the script, a consistent hand of terror. Ballistic experts examine the 9mm casing found at the scene, cross-referencing it with previous evidence, a small but vital piece of the puzzle. The piece of Stine's shirt, stained with blood, is sent for forensic analysis, though DNA profiling is still decades away from its widespread use. The Zodiac's shift to San Francisco presents new challenges for investigators. The urban environment, with its dense population and intricate network of streets, offers more anonymity for a killer than the secluded rural areas, a labyrinth for a predator. The SFPD, led by Inspector Dave Toskai and Inspector Bill Armstrong, takes the lead in the San Francisco aspect of the investigation, working closely with Vallejo and Napa authorities, a united front. The Stine murder also brings the Zodiac case to the forefront of national attention. The brazenness of the attack, the taunting letters, and the explicit threats against children create a media sensation, a national nightmare. The Zodiac becomes a household name, a boogeyman lurking in the shadows of California, a whispered fear. The 340-symbol cryptogram, like its predecessors, becomes a focal point of public and professional attention. Cryptographers around the world dedicate themselves to cracking the code, believing it holds the key to the killer's identity, a hidden name. However, its complexity proves formidable. Weeks turn into months, and the cipher remains unsolved. The Zodiac, it seems, has once again outsmarted his pursuers, a smug grin in the darkness. On November 8, 1969, another letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle. This one contains a diagram of a bomb, along with a threat to blow up a school bus, a chilling blueprint of destruction. The letter begins with, "This is the Zodiac speaking," and reiterates his demands for the publication of his ciphers. He also includes a warning that he will change his method of killing, stating, "I shall no longer announce to anyone when I commit my murders. They shall look like routine robberies, killings of anger, accidental death, etc." This threat is particularly chilling, as it suggests the Zodiac will blend into the background, making his future crimes indistinguishable from other acts of violence, a chameleon of death. The bomb diagram, though seemingly amateurish, is taken seriously by authorities. Bomb squads are put on alert, and school bus routes are meticulously scrutinized, a city on high alert. The Zodiac's ability to instill widespread fear is undeniable. On November 9, 1969, another letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle, a 7-page communication known as the Bus Bomb Letter. In this letter, the Zodiac mocks the police and the press for their inability to solve his ciphers, his words dripping with contempt. He provides a detailed account of his plans to blow up a school bus, explaining how he would rig the bomb to detonator when children exited the bus, a horrific vision. He also includes a segment of the Stein shirt, further confirming his connection to the murder, a bloody thread. The letter is filled with grammatical errors and misspellings, consistent with his previous writings, a familiar, unsettling script. The Zodiac expresses frustration that the police have not yet identified him, despite the clues he claims to have provided, a petulant demand for recognition. He also hints at a deeper, more philosophical motive for his killings, suggesting he is collecting slaves for the afterlife, a macabre cosmic vision. This macabre ideology adds another layer of complexity to the killer's psyche, a twisted philosophy. The detailed description of the bus bomb plot further escalates the public's fear. Parents are terrified, and schools across the Bay Area face unprecedented anxiety, a suffocating dread. The police, while taking the threat seriously, also recognize the Zodiac's penchant for theatricality and manipulation. They redouble their efforts to identify the killer, now working under the immense pressure of a potential mass casualty event, a race against time. The FBI's behavioral science unit, in its nascent stages, begins to develop a psychological profile of the Zodiac, analyzing his letters for clues about his personality, motivations, and possible background. They characterize him as intelligent, narcissistic, and highly manipulative, deriving pleasure from the fear he instills and the intellectual games he plays with authorities, a chilling psychological portrait. December 1969 brings no new confirmed attacks, but the fear remains palpable, a constant hum. The unsolved 340 symbol cipher continues to frustrate cryptographers, a stubborn lock. Then, on December 20, 1969, exactly 1 year after the initial Lake Herman Road murders, a letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle from a person claiming to be the Zodiac. This letter, however, is quickly determined to be a hoax. The handwriting does not match, and the content lacks the distinctive Zodiac style, a clumsy imitation. This incident highlights the growing problem of copycat letters and false confessions, which further complicate the investigation, a muddying of the waters. The police are forced to sift through numerous bogus claims, diverting valuable resources from the authentic Zodiac communications, chasing phantoms. The public, however, remains on edge, constantly fearing the next genuine Zodiac message, a collective holding of breath. The new year, 1970, begins with a sense of dread. The Zodiac has not struck since October, but his threats linger, a dark shadow. On January 29, 1970, a letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle, known as the "My Name Is" letter. This brief, cryptic message consists of a 13-symbol cipher, similar in length to the one sent after the July 4th attack, a small, impenetrable knot. The Zodiac, with his characteristic taunting, states, "My name is," followed by the cipher. He challenges the police to solve it, once again implying that his identity is contained within the symbols, a hidden name in plain sight. This letter reignites the cryptographic efforts, but like its predecessor, this 13-symbol cipher also proves resistant to all attempts at decryption, a stubborn secret. The Zodiac's ability to create seemingly simple yet impenetrable codes further enhances his mystique and his perceived intellectual superiority, a dark genius. On March 22, 1970, Kathleen Johns, 22, is driving with her 10-month-old daughter, Jennifer, on Highway 132 near Modesto, her car a speck on the open road. She is on her way to visit her mother in San Bernardino. At approximately 10:00 p.m., a car pulls alongside her, and the driver flashes his headlights, signaling her to pull over, a silent command. The man, a white male in his late 20s or early 30s, informs her that her rear wheel is wobbling and offers to tighten the lug nuts, his voice a deceptive comfort. Johns, trusting the man, allows him to work on her tire. After a few minutes, the man tells her the problem is fixed. However, when Johns pulls back onto the highway, her wheel immediately comes off, causing her to lose control of the car, a sudden lurch into danger. The man, who had followed her, pulls up again and offers her a ride to the nearest gas station, a predator offering a lifeline. Johns, stranded and with her baby, reluctantly accepts. For the next 2 hours, the man drives Johns and her daughter around the rural roads of Stanislaus County, refusing to take her to a gas station, the landscape blurring outside the window. He makes increasingly bizarre and threatening statements, occasionally slowing down and stopping, then speeding up again, a terrifying game of cat and mouse. He tells her he is going to kill her and her baby, and then throw them into a lake, a chilling promise. Johns, terrified, realizes she is in grave danger, her heart pounding. At one point, when the man slows down at an intersection, Johns unlatches her daughter's car seat and jumps out of the car, clutching Jennifer, a desperate leap for freedom. She runs into a nearby field and hides in the darkness, the tall grass concealing them. The man, after a moment, drives away, his car disappearing into the night. Johns eventually makes her way to a nearby house, where she calls the police, her voice shaking. When officers arrive, they take her to the Modesto Police Department. While she is giving her statement, Johns sees a police sketch of the Zodiac Killer on the wall. She immediately identifies the man who abducted her as the Zodiac, a flash of recognition. The Modesto Police Department contacts the SFPD and other agencies involved in the Zodiac investigation. The car Johns was driving, a Chevrolet Corvair, is found burned out the next day, a charred husk. The Zodiac, it appears, had intentionally loosened her lug nuts, setting a trap, a meticulous plan of terror. While Kathleen Johns and her daughter survive the ordeal, the incident is widely believed to be another Zodiac attack, though it is never officially confirmed as such by the Zodiac himself. The attempted abduction highlights the Zodiac's evolving methods, moving from direct attacks to more elaborate schemes involving deception, a new layer of cunning. It also demonstrates his continued interest in targeting lone women, often in isolated areas, a consistent pattern. Johns' survival provides a crucial eyewitness account, adding to the growing composite of the killer's appearance and behavior, a clearer picture emerging. The terrifying encounter reinforces the public's perception of the Zodiac as a cunning and ruthless predator. On April 20, 1970, a letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle. It begins with "This is the Zodiac speaking," and contains a 13-symbol crosshair cipher, a similar design to the one included in the "My Name Is" letter, a familiar symbol of dread. The letter also includes a threat to blow up a bus, and mentions the Kathleen Johns incident, stating, "I hope you have fun trying to figure out who I am. I am the Zodiac, and I am waiting for a good movie about me. I am the man who gave the lady a ride home." This statement, coupled with the distinctive symbol, leads investigators to believe that the Zodiac is indeed responsible for the Johns abduction, a self-incriminating boast. The letter contains a chilling warning: "My next victim will be a school bus, a constant, gnawing fear." The threat to target a school bus is reiterated, a constant source of anxiety for the Bay Area community. The Zodiac, it seems, is enjoying the attention, actively participating in the media narrative surrounding his crimes, a dark celebrity. On April 28, 1970, another letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle, addressed to Paul Avery, a prominent crime reporter who has been covering the Zodiac case extensively, his name now a target. This letter is short and to the point, consisting of only 2 sentences. "I hope you have fun trying to figure out who I am. That wasn't my name I gave the lady." This message, a direct response to the Kathleen Johns incident, confirms the Zodiac's involvement and his perverse enjoyment of the cat-and-mouse game with law enforcement and the media. The Zodiac is actively correcting misinformation, or perhaps deliberately creating more confusion, a master manipulator. The Zodiac's communications continue sporadically throughout 1970. On July 26, 1970, a letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle, known as the Little List letter. In this letter, the Zodiac boasts about his ability to evade capture and claims to have killed 13 victims, far more than the confirmed total of 5, a chilling exaggeration. He includes a cryptic poem and a threat to do something nasty if the newspaper does not print his letter on the front page, a familiar demand. This letter further demonstrates the Zodiac's grandiosity and his desire for public attention, a twisted ego. On October 27, 1970, another letter known as the Halloween card is sent to Paul Avery. This card is particularly macabre, featuring a skeleton and a pumpkin, and contains several cryptic messages and symbols, including the Zodiac's crosshair symbol. The card also contains a chilling tally: by knife, by gun, by rope, by fire, by other, suggesting a variety of methods for his claimed victims, a grim accounting. The card ends with a veiled threat to Avery, hinting that he could be the next victim, a personal attack. This card is seen as a direct taunt to Avery, who had recently written an article questioning the Zodiac's claims, a dangerous provocation. The last confirmed Zodiac letter is sent on March 13, 1971, to the San Francisco Chronicle. In this letter, the Zodiac expresses his anger over a recent film adaptation of the case, The Zodiac Killer, claiming it misrepresented his actions. He also threatens to bomb a school bus again, reiterating his earlier warnings. This letter, though brief, is significant as it is the last confirmed communication from the Zodiac for several years, a sudden silence. After March 1971, the letters stop, and the confirmed attacks cease, leaving investigators with a profound sense of frustration and the public with an enduring fear. The Zodiac, it seems, has vanished as suddenly as he appeared, a ghost in the machine. The investigation, however, continues, albeit with diminishing leads and a growing sense of coldness. The police departments involved never officially closed the Zodiac case, a testament to the enduring mystery and the elusive nature of the killer. The myth of the Zodiac, however, has been firmly established. He is no longer just a serial killer. He is a symbol of unsolved crime, a master of deception, and a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within human nature. His cryptic messages, his theatrical killings, and his ability to evade capture have woven him into the fabric of American criminal lore, a legend born of terror. The sudden cessation of Zodiac's confirmed attacks and letters after March 1971 plunged the Bay Area into an uneasy quiet, a silence more terrifying than the previous reign of terror. The public, while relieved, remained acutely aware that the killer had not been caught. He had simply vanished. This lingering uncertainty became a defining characteristic of the Zodiac mythology, cementing his status as a phantom, a spectral presence that could resurface at any moment. The official confirmed victim count remained 5, with 2 survivors, but the Zodiac himself claimed many more, fueling speculation and fear. The case, though dormant, never truly went cold. Decades passed, and the Zodiac case continued to haunt law enforcement, true crime enthusiasts, and the families of his victims. The unsolved nature of the crimes, combined with the killer's taunting communications, ensured its enduring place in popular culture. Books, documentaries, and films continued to explore the mystery, each attempting to shed new light on the enigma, or at least capitalize on the public's fascination. The narrative shifted from an active hunt to a historical investigation, a cold case that refused to freeze over. The 340 symbol cipher, remaining unsolved for over 50 years, became a symbol of the Zodiac's intellectual dominance. It was finally cracked in December 2020 by a team of amateur code breakers, David Orenchak, Sam Blake, and Jarl Van Eyck. Their breakthrough, a testament to persistent effort and modern computing power, revealed another chilling message. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to PARADICE all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach PARADICE, so they are afraid. When they die, I am not afraid, because I know that my new life is life in PARADICE that also. Me on the TV show, which brings up another point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to PARADICE all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach PARADICE, so they are afraid. When they die, I am not afraid, because I know that my new life is life in PARADICE. The repetition and the continuation of his slaves for the afterlife ideology offered no new clues to his identity, but reaffirmed his twisted worldview and his contempt for those trying to catch him. The TV show reference likely alluded to an appearance by an alleged Zodiac on a local talk show, which the real Zodiac was keen to dismiss. This decryption, though decades late, provided a final, haunting glimpse into the killer's unrepentant mind, a chilling echo from the past. Despite countless theories, suspects, and forensic advancements, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains officially unknown. Over the years, numerous individuals have been named as potential suspects, from Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester and the FBI's prime suspect for decades, to Richard Gaykowski, a journalist and alleged serial killer, to Lawrence Kane, a Vietnam veteran who lived in the Bay Area. Each suspect has had compelling, albeit circumstantial, evidence pointing towards them, but none have ever been definitively proven to be the Zodiac. The lack of conclusive DNA evidence, a technology that emerged long after the height of the Zodiac's activities, has been a significant hurdle. While touch DNA has been extracted from some of the Zodiac's letters, its quality and quantity have so far been insufficient for a definitive match. The passage of time has also erased potential witnesses, allowed evidence to degrade, and made the recollection of details increasingly unreliable. The myth of the Zodiac Killer is not just about the murders. It's about the fear he instilled, the intellectual games he played, and the lasting mystery he created. He was a master manipulator of the media, using newspapers to amplify his terror and taunt his pursuers. His cryptograms became a unique signature, elevating him beyond a common criminal to a figure of dark intrigue. The Zodiac case stands as a stark reminder of the limitations of law enforcement, even when faced with a killer who actively seeks attention. It also highlights the profound impact a single individual can have on an entire region, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. The Zodiac Killer, through his calculated violence and cryptic communications, carved a permanent niche in criminal history. He remains the quintessential unsolved serial killer, a shadowy figure who defied capture and left behind a puzzle that continues to challenge and fascinate. While the confirmed murders ceased, the shadow of the Zodiac lingers, a testament to the enduring power of a myth born of terror and the haunting reality that some monsters are never truly caught. The case remains open in multiple jurisdictions, a constant reminder of the justice still sought for David Faraday, Betty Lou Jensen, Darlene Ferrin, Cecilia Ann Shepard, and Paul Stein, and the countless others whose lives were touched by the chilling presence of the Zodiac. The myth of the Zodiac Killer endures not as a celebration of violence, but as a chilling narrative of an unsolved mystery, a testament to the darkness that can lurk unseen and the persistent hope that, one day, the final cipher will be broken, and the truth will finally emerge